are you, my class 7 English version students? Today I am going to start our new chapter, and our new chapter is the chapter 14. Here's the new chapter. I also explain about the climate change or the change of climate. Here's the change of climate. I also explain about the weather and the climate and the atmosphere layer. Here, first structure is the weather and the climate. The earth is surrounded by atmosphere. We know in the previous class. Temperature, atmospheric temperature, first structure. What is the weather? Basically, I just some components. Here's the components. Weather is also the include the temperature. First structure is the temperature. Another is the atmospheric pressure. Third is the wind and also the humidity. It also the surrounded by the weather. Basically, now if you see the books, what is the weather? Basically, temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind and humidity of the atmospheric of an area for a limited time. Basically, only the limited time is called weather. Overall, weather of an area for many years is called climate. Again, I will explain what is the difference between the weather and the climate. Here I also explain some components. Again, I review and the previous temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind and humidity of the atmosphere of an area. Needs fixed area is also for a limited time is called weather. And also the climate, overall weather of an area for many years is also called the climate. Weather and climate basically influence our life in various ways. In normal weather and climate, we lead normal life. Due to increase of temperature, it's also the main problem for the global warming. Basically, due to increase of temperature of the atmosphere, climate of the earth is changing. Bangladesh is harmed due to climate changes. Basically, we also suffer for the climate change. When climate change is also the hamper for our daily life. Now, our next topics. Basically, our next topics is the lesson 1 and 2. Here's the 1 and 2. The headline is the atmosphere of the earth. Basically, here's the I just draw the some different parts of atmosphere. Here's the atmosphere in the red structure, or the main structure is the earth surface. In the earth surface, the first sphere or the first stage is the troposphere. Green color is the troposphere, and the another structure is the stratosphere. I just draw the stratosphere is basically blue color, and the mesosphere and the thermosphere. Please, I also details explain. Again, I also explain details. You have learned whether the earth was very hot at the first stage of creation. Gradually, it cooled down at this time. Light gaseous substances from the outermost part. Here, gaseous part that encircles the earth is the atmosphere. Basically, in the encircles is the gaseous types of structure, the surface. You know that atmosphere is mainly composed of nitrogen and oxygen. I just write this. First structure is the nitrogen and another structure is the oxygen. It's also the main atmospheric structure. I just draw this, the structure. First is the nitrogen. Here I write this the nitrogen, and another is the oxygen. Besides, there are moisture, dust particles, argon, carbon dioxide, and some more gases. The earth attracts everything towards it. Due to the attraction, gases of the atmosphere remains near the earth's surface. Basically, main attraction is the atmosphere. It's also closed down the earth's surface. That is why atmosphere near the Earth's surface is compact. And as you ascend upward from the Earth's surface, atmosphere becomes lighter and lighter. The upwards from the Earth's surface, basically this Earth's surface, the structure is the climate, and the upwards from the atmosphere, it also the lighter and lighter. Again I repeat, in the near Earth's surface, its structure is the compact, and the lighter space is also the lighter and lighter or the surface. That is why atmosphere near the Earth's surface is compact. If you want to ascend to the peak of a mountain, you will have to carry oxygen with you for breathing. And the atmosphere is extended to few hundred kilometers from the Earth's surface. Earth's atmosphere is divided into few layers. First four layers are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and the thermosphere. Here I just also explain briefly what's the types of the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and also the thermosphere. First structure is the troposphere. Here I just draw this. This structure is the troposphere. Please everyone see the books. Troposphere. Up to 11 kilometers, the Earth's surface forms the troposphere. Up to, here this type of the troposphere is also up to the 11 kilometer. Please everyone write this. 11 kilometer. Here's this layer contains basically most of the essential gases like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide and water vapor. Here this structure is also another structure is the oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide and H2O. Basically this structure also contains this layer. Here in this layer all these things happen that influence life to human beings and other organisms such as cloud, rain, wind, storm, fog, etc. For these happenings, troposphere is the most important layer of the atmosphere and also the animal and plants. Basically this structure also contains the weather, basically wind, rain, etc. Our next structure is the stratosphere. Please everyone see the board. This structure is also the stratosphere. I just explained the stratosphere. Here is the stratosphere. From just above the troposphere, stratosphere starts. This layer starts from troposphere and extends up to above 39 kilometers from the Earth's surface. This structure is also the Earth. From the Earth's surface is also the 39 kilometers. This layer contains one gas named ozone. Have you any idea about the ozone? Because ozone is the shading structure. This gas protects us from sun's harmful rays. Basically ultraviolet ray, alpha ray and beta ray. They are very harmful for our human beings. This layer or above this layer contains less amount of other gases of the atmosphere. Our next structure is the mesosphere. Here basically this structure is the mesosphere from the Earth's surface. Here's the mesosphere. This layer starts from where stratosphere ends. With increase in height of the layer, temperature starts falling. And the last structure is the thermosphere. Thermo, that means temperature. This layer is almost airless. Here temperature rises fast, so it is called thermosphere. Radio signals are reflected from this layer. Dear students, our next topic is the lesson 3, water cycle in environment. Water cycle. What is the water cycle? Basically, water cycle is very important for the environment. Say, if surface water including the seawater does not evaporate and remains on the earth, what will happen? Definitely there will be no rain, no water in the river. In the situation, could we cultivate crops? Even we could not get rain water or water from the river irrigation. If there is no rain, no underground water would be available. What would happen if ice on the peak of the mountains and polar regions melts without remaining deposited there? Basically, quantity of seawater would have increased. That would cause inundation of the coastal areas such as the southern part of Bangladesh. Natural balance is maintained between demand and supply of water through water cycle. Basically, water cycle is also the balance in the nature. You have realized that there is a big effect of solar heat or water cycle. Any disturbance in water cycle will create problems for man and other organisms. Over-raining may cause flood if rainwater cannot pass speedily. Flood visits our country almost every year. Similarly, rise in Earth's temperature disturbs water cycle. We will know more about it in the last part of this chapter. Today, dear students, I just start our very interesting topics about the change of climate. Basically, this chapter we also know about the atmosphere, its also layers and the water cycle. Today, that's all.